From the PEP Radio Newsroom, this is the evening news blast for May 13th, 2025. LGBTQ Nation is reporting that Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth issued a memo directing all military leaders and commands to pull and review books that address anti-racism, diversity, or gender issues from libraries operated by branches of the military. He initially focused on removing any so-called pro-DEI reading material from libraries within DOD-run schools. The ultimatum is perhaps the Department of Defense's broadest and most detailed directive so far in Hegseth's campaign to rid the military of diversity, equity, and inclusion programs and materials. The latest library purge will remove educational materials at base-operated libraries that promote divisive concepts and gender ideology as incompatible with the department's core mission. It also directs department leaders to promptly identify books that are incompatible with these guidelines and sequester them by May 21st. What remains uncertain is whether the books and other materials will be stored or destroyed. Additional guidance will be provided by the Department of Defense from a temporary library committee that will explain how to curate the initial list and determine what should be removed. Among the search terms to be used when considering book removal are affirmative action, anti-racism, critical race theory, discrimination, diversity, gender dysphoria, gender identity and transition, transgender, transsexual, and white privilege. Books being purged include Maya Angelou's autobiography, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which explores Angelou's experience as a Black youth living in the southern United States during Jim Crow-era segregation. Other books in this purge detailing the experiences of African-American women in the 19th and 20th century include Half American, about African Americans in World War II, A Respectable Woman, about the public roles of African American women in 19th century New York. Additionally, books about the Holocaust, written by survivors trying to make sense of their trauma, or those memorializing the victims of the horrific event, were purged, including memorializing the Holocaust. What hasn't been removed from the shelf is Mein Kampf by Adolf Hitler. Last month, the American Civil Liberties Union, representing 12 plaintiffs from U.S. military schools, brought up a lawsuit against Pete Hegseth in his official capacity as Defense Secretary for ordering the removal of over 400 books from Department of Defense school libraries. The plaintiffs argue that removing these books violates students' First Amendment rights and denies these students the same educational opportunities as students in public schools. On the same day the library memo was issued, Hegseth released a memo ordering military academies to admit students solely based on merit with no consideration of race, ethnicity, or sex, underlining the word no. That's our news blast at this hour. Primary election day for Pennsylvania is Tuesday, May 20th. If you are registered to vote, please get to the polls and cast your ballot. Up next, we have the National Weather Service forecast for the Meadville area here on PEP Radio.